So, news broke earlier that Bronny James, LeBron James' son, has decided that he will stay in the NBA draft. This is definitely surprising to me because I didn't think that Bronny was particularly ready for the NBA. I thought that he was just using this draft process as to see where he is in the draft class. This is considered a weaker draft class. Well, one of the weakest draft classes ever in NBA history. I thought he was just using it to see where he ranked within his draft class. I was thinking like he would be maybe a low second round pick if he did decide to stay. But I did think that he would go back to college and switch schools and everything like that. But Shams reported earlier that Bronny James has decided that he is going to stay in this draft class. So, of course, that brings up the topic of, do teams draft Bronny James in order to sign LeBron James? And of course, that brings us to the Philadelphia 76ers. And as you guys have already seen in my previous videos, I said that the Sixers number one option should be signing LeBron James, no matter his age. I think that he will be a great asset to the Philadelphia 76ers. I do think that LeBron James should be the Sixers number one option, just as far as what he can bring to the Sixers is something that they have not had. An elite wing, leadership, shot creator, play initiator, can mentor Maxey. He can just bring a bunch of different things that the Sixers just have not had in previous seasons. In order for the Sixers to sign LeBron James, of course, he would have to decline his player option with the Lakers, and then he would have to become a free agent, and the Sixers would have the opportunity to sign him. Now, he has said previously that his main goal is not to play with Bronny James anymore. That's not like his number one goal, but he definitely would like it. He does want Bronny to have his own legacy. He wants him to, create his own career, and I get that. But if you have the opportunity to sign LeBron James, someone who fits with the timeline of Joel Embiid and kind of sort of Tyrese Maxey, but the timeline of contending for a championship within Philadelphia, then you absolutely do it. Like I said previously, I do think that the Sixers only have like a 2-year window to win the championship with Embiid, just because of his age, his knee problems, and what you can build around him. So I do think that signing LeBron James to maybe a 2-year contract, you draft Bronny James, and you essentially have a title contender, not because of Bronny James, but because you sign LeBron. You fill that roster out with players around him. If you sign Becca Kelly Oubre, you look in free agency, you go sign maybe a Gary Harris, I think his free agent, Gary Trent, or Caldwell Pope, or different athletes that you can surround with LeBron James. I do think that Sixers should absolutely do that. Now, to the conversation of drafting Bronny James in order to sign LeBron James, it's been very 50-50 on Twitter about what people think should happen. So with me, I do think that conversations, of course, what happened previously to, hey, like Morey and LeBron and the Sixers organization, like, hey, if we do draft Bronny, like, will you come here? And I do think if LeBron says yes, I do think you absolutely do it. Now there's a different conversation of what pick you use to draft Bronny. Like, what other teams will be enticed to draft Bronny in the first round in order to sign a LeBron James, right? So honestly, if the Sixers want to use that 16th pick, like whatever, I do think that the pick will be traded prior to draft night if they don't have an agreement with like a handshake agreement with LeBron to be like, all right, well, we're just going to draft Bronny here and we're going to sign you. I do think that the pick will be traded. Just talking about how Daryl Morey was speaking as far as the offseason, he legit said like rookies will not help you win on a contending team in the NBA right now, and especially the situation that the Sixers are in. And I do believe him. So I do think that he will go look to trade that pick in order to bolster the Sixers roster, right? So using the 16th pick on Bronny James in order to sign LeBron James, I look at it this way: essentially trading a first round pick to sign LeBron, if you guys get what I'm saying. Not trading it essentially, but essentially, giving it away. And it's not like Bronny has a ton of downside, right? He does have a ton of upside. He's athletic. He is short, I guess, for an NBA player, 6'1". He's athletic. He plays elite defense. We'll have to see how that transitions over into the NBA. But he is a good shooter. He will provide spacing for the Sixers. And he'll also be playing, if you do draft him, you'll also be playing with his dad, somebody who has coached him and mentored him all of his life. He gets to learn from Tyrese Maxey at the guard spot. Now you have him around Joel Embiid, who we can learn from as well. Not as far positioning, but how the league works, everything like that. I do think that it will be a great addition for Bronny. Like, it wouldn't be a complete downside drafting Bronny. It's just that the 16th pick, it is so high, but you're using that pick to draft LeBron James. Now you have to look at it like, okay, if we do use that 16th pick on a player as opposed on a player not named Bronny, like will that player become LeBron James, right? So you're essentially getting 2 for 1, and we know the odds of that are in the toilet of being able to draft somebody at 16 and him becoming a top 2 basketball player ever. So I can see where the Sixers see some upside in drafting Bronny, signing LeBron, and then you're essentially giving away a first round pick. You're adding an upside player in Bronny James, and you're also adding a top 2 player ever in LeBron James, who brings so much to your organization that you just simply have not had in the existence since possibly an Allen Iverson. Like I said, shot creation, leadership, mentoring Maxey, mentoring Bronny. He could also help Joel Embiid win. Now, one thing that I do think that LeBron James would bring, even in his older ages, LeBron James knows how to win in the NBA. And you definitely need players like that, especially with a player where Joel Embiid is like kind of teetering on if he's a number one, if he's a number two. You do see that you need players that know how to win in the league. Like if you take it back to 2 years ago when the Sixers had PJ Tucker and he had to yell at Joel Embiid in the playoffs to like because Joel couldn't score on Al Horford in I think game 5 or game 6, something like game 5, and PJ Tucker had to yell at him like, yo, get it like get it together. Maybe Joel Embiid just doesn't exactly know how to win, and PJ Tucker is somebody in this league, no matter what you want to say about him, he knows how to win in the NBA. Now he just does not have the skill set to be able to elevate his team to, okay, don't worry, I'll carry everybody on my back in order for us to win this game or win this playoff series. Joel, just take a step back, I got us, and you just do all the little things, right? I do think that LeBron James definitely knows how to do that. He also has the skill set to bring that to the Sixers organization. I do think that's something that they desperately need. I don't want to count on Tyrese Maxey because he is so young. Will be 24 years old next season. Giving him the keys and being the number one option and telling him a player that has not exactly won or gone far in the league, telling him, okay, now you teach us how to win. You teach Joel how to win. You carry us. This is going to be little bit of a tougher task, but adding a LeBron James who's been a veteran, who has championship, who has rings, who knows what it takes to win in the NBA, I do think that that is something that you just cannot discredit, something that you can absolutely use on your team. And even though he is kind of slowing down in his older age, he's still in his last game. I think he had 30, 11, and 9 versus the Nuggets. He definitely brings you high level elite wing play that the Sixers absolutely need and just have not had since Dr. J probably. So will be interesting to see if the Sixers do go this route. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they will have conversations with LeBron prior to this and seeing if they can get conversations with LeBron saying, hey, if we draft Bronny, like, would you sign here? But like I've said, I do think that he should be their number one option. Like I said, Bronny is not a complete downside player. It's just that drafting him at 16, but I've already said using that 16th pick, basically saying, okay, we're trading for LeBron James we're using our 16th pick to trade for LeBron James, fill out the cap space, fill out the roster. Do think that'll definitely help the Sixers. But yeah, Off the Cliff Show, make sure you guys like and subscribe and let me know in the comments, should the Sixers draft Bronny James with that 16 overall pick? If not, what pick should they use in order to sign LeBron James? Do you think they should sign Bronny James at all? Do you think that LeBron James should be a number one option? The number one option for the Sixers in the offseason. Definitely let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe. I'll holla at y'all.